Hey guys, welcome back to another Building Behind the Scenes Halloween edition. Now, last week we did more of the family-friendly version of Halloween. However, this week we are going to be getting into what I really love, the blood, the gore, the guts, all of it with our horror icon behind the build this week. So instead of taking movies like last week and taking the movie in its entirety, this week I'm going to be focusing specifically on the faces of the horror movies, which are the killers. I'm super excited to see how this one comes out since this is something that I am super interested in, being a special effects makeup artist myself. I love creatures, I love the way they look, that and especially slasher movies, blood, guts, all the prosthetics and everything all exciting. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. The characters I have chosen for this house are Tim Curry's Pennywise, Bill Skarsgård Pennywise, Regan from The Exorcist, Annie Wilkes, Frankenstein, Jigsaw, Hannibal Lecter, and Sam. Alright, so number 8 for the outside of the house, which is Regan from The Exorcist. Alright, so this is going to be quite interesting, I think. She wears a blue nightgown, and throughout the film she gets more and more of a green appearance to her skin and more like lacerations, and then eventually her entire room is covered up in padding. Also, my game, when I was trying to load it the first time and also when I was recording my intro, crashed twice, and so after every single room I'm going to definitely make sure that I save the game, especially after what happened in last week's video where the entire bottom got deleted and I had to redo it. I'm not saying I'm superstitious, I'm just a little suspicious about that. Hopefully I remember and it's not just something I say and then I mess up. Maybe like this blue for her nightgown, and then this blue here can also represent when the room was super cold and almost like they were in, and it looked like they were in a freezer, and to create the effect with their breath being seen and making it look like it was in a freezer was because it actually was filmed in a freezer. They had built the bedroom scene in one because they didn't have the CGI in order to create the appearance of the breath from the cold. I know this is a bit much to ask of the column department, but are there any that look like a headboard wrapped in sheets for safety reasons?
What you've just done is pique the curiosity of the local authorities.
So I don't know what's with this game, but it crashed again. I don't know if this house is possessed like the filming of the movie was of The Exorcist, but something's going on because this is the third time the game crashed. Because during filming there were a bunch of deaths and a bunch of different fires and mishaps, and so it's one of the movies that they say was haunted whilst they were making it, and I don't know if the outside of this house is taking cue to that or not, but I'd appreciate it if it didn't. I want to put so much green in because that's not only the color of Reagan's skin, but it's also the color of the vomit that she projectiles onto the priest, and that was made with specifically Anderson's pea soup mixed with a bit of oatmeal for consistency to make sure that it wasn't too runny and it had like chunks. Jason Miller, who was the actor of the priest, was told that the vomit was only going to hit his chest, and so his disgust look in the movie was a genuine reaction because he had no idea that it was going to be all over his face. So it was pretty nasty. Oh, it kind of looks kind of rashy. That works. It looks very rashy, actually. I like that. Put a few more over here, and then I need to stop with the vines because I am messing around with them way too much. But I just think they look really cool, and like the effect that I want for her skin texture for towards the end of the movie. It looks really nice and close to it. And The Exorcist was the first horror film to receive a nomination for Best Picture in 1974. But with that, the outside of the house is finished. So let's go ahead and see who's going to get the yard of the house. We have Hannibal Lecter from Silence of the Lambs, which honestly kind of works with what we already have going with the outside of the house, considering he only wears a blue jumpsuit and then his white shirt when he's kept sort of in that glass bubble when everything goes awry towards the end. And then to represent him being in that case almost, if you will, call it a case. I'm going to go ahead and put a glass fence around the yard. And then also the reason that he was in glass opposed to regular gel bars was, one, to help aid to the fact of how dangerous he actually was, and two, they tried filming it with the typical jail bars but didn't come across as well because of how they looked on screen, and they couldn't get a nice enough shot of Anthony Hopkins. I'm going to put a grill. If he feels the need to cook somebody on a grill, I want him to be able to have that option. Oh, I want to put an easel out here because he is an artist as well. The first time Jodie Foster's character meets Hannibal Lecter, aka Anthony Hopkins, was during that scene, and when he makes fun of her southern accent, it was completely improvised by him. So she was completely shocked and taken aback by the fact that he was fully making fun of her, and so her horrified reaction during that scene again was very genuine.
But you're not more than one generation from poor white trash, are you, Agent Starling? And that accent you've tried so desperately to shed, pure West Virginia. What does your father do? Is he a coal miner? Does he stink of the land?
I suppose I could just put a radio out here for him to, like, you know, go to his tunes with. And then possibly a little seating area over here with the music so he can enjoy it with his dinner, since we did put that grill out for him. Ooh, I want that wine bottle rack so he can have a nice Chianti.
I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Silence of the Lambs is the third film ever to win the Big Five Oscars, which are the Best Picture, the Best Actor and Actress, Best Director, and Best Screenplay. And for Best Actor, it really shows how well of a job Anthony Hopkins did during that role, considering he was only in the entire movie for about 16 minutes in total. Alright, and I think that is it for the outside of the house. So let's go ahead and move on to the inside entryway. We have Pennywise for this front room, specifically Bill Skarsgård's version. I had chosen to do both Bill Skarsgård and Tim Curry's Pennywise because they are completely different characters, and I actually like both of them, which is slightly rare for remakes for me to like both of them because they are on completely different fields, and I know people prefer one or the other, and I wanted to include both of them. A lot of the things are going to be white and red for Pennywise's outfit, which is mainly white with red accents, and then he also has his orange hair. I really like the idea of using these curtains because it's theatrical in a way when he's revealed and he's coming through and he's doing his little dance, and it reminds me of that. And for lighting, of course, I have to use these balloon lights. For his big oversized teeth, Bill Skarsgård wore fake prosthetic teeth, and they made him drool a lot, which anything really sort of extra in your mouth, like braces, Invisalign, prosthetic teeth, if you've had any of that, you know that it makes your mouth salivate more for some reason. I'm not sure why. I had Invisalign and they do. I can attest to that. And because of that, in a lot of the scenes, he would salivate and drool. However, they kept a lot of the scenes in because the director felt like it added to the ravenous nature of his character. And this seems like a running theme throughout the video so far, but Pennywise was another character that was kept away from all of the children, and so the first time they see him, I believe in the projector scene, was on screen, and it was the first time that any of them had actually seen them. So again, it's a genuine reaction. Also, I'm adding a whole bunch of toys onto this table like it's his collection pile. And then also all of the eye movements that Pennywise does is not CGI, it is actually Bill Skarsgård doing them all himself. However, when part 2 came around, co-star Bill Hader was not aware of that, and he went up to Bill Skarsgård and he asked what kind of effect or editing they had used to make his eyes do that. And I believe his response was one of like, oh, you mean this? And like he did it in front of him. It really freaked Bill Hader out because he thought it was all fake. And to see somebody's eyes just move individually would be a little bit trippy to see. I believe that is it for the front room, so let's move up over here into the study and let's see who gets that room. We have Annie Wilkes, which honestly is a pretty good fit. Annie Wilkes is from Misery. It works because Paul is there as he's writing, so this could be like a little author's nook. The picture I'm going off of right now is when she's in her green sweater and gray vest. So I will be going off of that and also kind of what her house looks like. We need to add Misery in here because she's honestly the star of the show. And I sized it up because Misery is quite a large little pig. Okay. Oh, and it's got like books and stuff. That looks like a comfy little corner. You know, if you didn't think about the fact that you're kidnapped and stuck in a room. And then in the scene where Annie smashes Paul's foot with a sledgehammer, his legs in the scene were molded out of pliable gelatin with wires rigged into ligatures inside of the ankle themselves, so then when it was hit with a sledgehammer, it wouldn't instantly snap back. It would stay at that broken angle. Also, that scene in the books was much more gruesome because instead of just smacking his leg with a sledgehammer, Annie completely chops him off with an axe instead. However, the director thought that that would be way too severe for the movie, and that's why they switched it. The study is finished, so let's pop back over here and move to the living room. All right, so we have Jigsaw in for the living room. Okay, this is going to be kind of interesting. So I am going mainly off of the puppet of Jigsaw. I don't know how I'm going to get across the fact of Saw unless I put like little traps everywhere, but I don't know if they have like decorative traps that's not in extreme violence, which I do have, but I don't have downloaded right now because I don't like building these houses with mod content or custom content, because I want anybody who wants to be able to use these houses and not have to download the mods. For the bathroom scene, because I am mainly going off of the original Saw for this, so that kind of has like a bathroom sort of feel. You know, I think I'm going to go with this fireplace here because this window could be taken as like a two-way mirror or something like that, and I like that aspect. All right, game crash number 4, let's go. I'm really glad I said in the beginning that I'm saving after every room because it keeps crashing. It literally won't stop crashing. Making this video might be haunted, but here we are. We're doing it. We're continuing on. Okay. Please, whoever is messing with my computer and my game, whatever ghost spirit entity is doing this, please stop. And Saw had a small budget, and because of this they had to film quickly, and the entire movie was shot in only 18 days. So a lot of rehearsal time was non-existent, and the first time the actors were rehearsing the scenes was in the actual scenes themselves, not just in rehearsal. The director also thought it would be easier to get a more genuine reaction from the actors if in the bathroom scene it was shot chronologically. Put a bunch of weapons, say things to help them escape their fate all around. This little box hidden over here, say with the message inside of it for the recording.
I want to play a game. Live or die. Make your choice.
Uh-oh, what happened in this? Something went down over here. I don't know what. Also, speaking of this, in the scene where Amanda has to cut open her cellmate to look for a key, the intestines that she has to rifle through are real pig intestines. And before that scene, they went over to a local butcher from where they were filming and picked them up. because it was such a low budget movie, it was a lot cheaper to go and get real pig intestines opposed to having an artist make the intestines instead. And with that fact, I think this room is finished. I'm going to go ahead and move on to this bathroom over here. So let's go ahead and see who it is. We have Tim Curry's version of Pennywise in this bathroom. He is more of a typical looking clown, and Tim Curry almost passed up the chance to become Pennywise because originally there was a lot more dramatic, heavy makeup to his character than we know him as today. And because the hours he spent in the makeup chair becoming darkness, he didn't want to have to go through that again. So he asked if they would tone back the makeup, which they did. And to everyone's delight, during filming, he was able to be creepy and scary regardless of not having heavy prosthetics on him. Opposite of him scaring his child co-stars, he would entertain all of the child extras in between takes. And he would have sing-alongs with them and just sort of like interact and have a good time. Most of them had no idea that he was actually there to act and be scary, because a lot of them just thought that the film had hired a clown to entertain them throughout the takes when they weren't doing anything. Pennywise's puffy red hair isn't a wig. Tim Curry actually grew out his hair for the part. Pennywise appears in less than 20 minutes of the entire 192 minutes of the miniseries, but that means that he had just over 10% of the screen time of the entire series, which is basically nothing. Which honestly is a running theme of a lot of horror movie characters and the killers specifically. They're there for such a short amount of time, however they have such a big impact, which honestly shows just how striking those characters are. And then that is it for the Tim Curry Pennywise bathroom, and we're going to go ahead and move on over here into the kitchen. So we have Frankenstein, which is kind of ironic considering he's scared of fire. However, he is arguably in the only room in the house that does have fire. I don't mind that cabinet there, really. And then have like a little space between the fridge and put like a little island over here. Okay, that's working, that's working. And I have everything looking sort of old and picked these kitchen items because the original story for Frankenstein was written in 1818 when Mary Shelley, who is the writer of the novel, was just around 18-19 years old. The story came about when Shelley and her traveling companions got trapped inside. So they decided to have a short story writing competition between them to pass the time, which is where the idea for reanimated corpses and mad scientists came to life. So that is it for the kitchen. And so for the final room, let's go ahead and move into the dining room over here. We have the adorable little Sam going in here. I also feel like this dining room would have a cute little fireplace in it too. This one works. This room's just gonna be very orange, which I'm okay with, honestly. Right in the center of the room. This is a little candy dish, and then we'll put more up here. And then over here in the corner, we'll put a little pumpkin carving station. These have to be the lights that go in here. And most of the jack-o'-lanterns in the film were made of foam or ceramic, so it was an ongoing joke on set that no pumpkins were harmed in the making of the movie, since there were hardly any real pumpkins there anyway. The name of the character Sam is derived from Samhain, I believe is how you pronounce it. If it's not, I apologize. Which is an ancient Celtic festival that marked the end of summer and the beginning of winter, or the darker half of the year. And if this doesn't scream Halloween and Sam and pumpkins, I honestly don't know what will. Alright, and then that is Sam's dining room. That is the outside of the house and bottom floor done, so that is where I'm going to end it for today. Let me know what you like about the house so far and which movie we had not done yet that you're excited to see be depicted. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You'll get notified for part 2 when it comes out if you do, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!